Welcome to the Instagram stories for Tuesday, March 14th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. Let's get into the Instagram news and then we'll talk about some other things. First, Adam Mosseri posted in his Instagram broadcast channel a few recommendations to make sure that you're having the most positive experience that you can on Instagram. I highly recommend all of these things that I'm about to mention. First, unfollow anybody that regularly posts stuff that brings you down. You can always mute them if you're worried about them getting upset. I recommend normally keeping the people that you follow under 500 and even under 400 if you can. The less outside negative influence you have, the better. It might be you comparing yourself with what other people are doing. It might be just looking at other people's lives and they're really not affecting you in any way. If you can, unfollow them. If you think they're going to be personally offended by you unfollowing them, then mute is a great option and you can mute their posts or their stories. Number 2, if you have any accounts you follow that you absolutely want to see their posts, add them to favorites. When you add them to favorites, then you can change your feed to the favorites feed and you will see their content. You can also turn on notifications for them as well if you super care about each thing that they post. Number 3, if someone you know is harassing you, restrict them. This is like blocking them, but they'll never find out. I just have a quick opinion on this. That is not exactly like blocking them and they'll never find out. They could find out that they were restricted by using a different account, looking at that same post that they commented on of yours. And if they don't see their comment, then they could figure out that they're restricted. So I'm like 50-50 on that one. Number 4, if someone you don't know is harassing you, block them and you can easily say yes to blocking all of their other accounts, including any they create in the future. I absolutely agree with this. Great idea. Number 5, if you are getting a lot of comments or message requests you aren't into, make sure you have hidden words turned on and add any words you'd like, and any comments or messages with those words will be blocked on your behalf. 100% yes, I love this idea. I was getting a ton of DMs inviting me to be a brand ambassador. So I just added the words brand ambassador to my hidden words, and any request that I get with those words in it automatically goes to a special folder that I never see. Whatever kind of spam you regularly get, pick the keyword and put it in your hidden words, and you'll never have to see anything like that again. All of this content appeared in Adam Mosseri's broadcast channel. I have had the opportunity to make my own broadcast channel, which I created on Friday, and today started adding some content too. I wasn't really sure how many people would be notified that I was making a broadcast channel or who would see what I would be posting. So far, my broadcast channel has 27 members. Compared to how many followers I have, that's not a lot. However, I noticed that when I made a poll in there, it was seen by 63 different people. So that indicates the people are looking at my broadcast channel, not necessarily interested in subscribing, but they do want to see what kind of content I'm creating in there. I made a poll, what platform do you prefer to listen to this show on? And I gave the options of Amazon, Spotify, Google News, Apple Music, or others. If you have an opportunity, please go check out my broadcast channel and vote in that poll so I can know which platform you prefer to listen to this show on. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some other Instagram news. This episode is supported by Because I Love It, aka Billy. Billy is a social commerce platform that connects social media influencers with brands to sell online. Billy is performance-based, influencer-centric, and works across all social media platforms. Join Billy's 10,000 influencers today. Find out more at becauseIloveIt.com. That's becauseIloveIt.com. And we're back. In other Instagram news, the country of Canada is looking to force internet companies to pay publishers for their content. However, as you can probably imagine, internet companies do not want to pay for content. In a statement on Monday, a Meta spokesperson told Gizmodo that the bill that Canada is trying to pass would force the company into an unworkable situation. Quote, if the Online News Act passes in its current form, we will end the availability of news content on Facebook and Instagram for people in Canada. The quote continues, a legislative framework that compels us to pay for links or content that we do not post and which are not the reason the vast majority of people use our platforms is neither sustainable nor workable, end quote. Okay, so why is this such a big deal? To answer that, a little bit of context, this law would affect both Google and Meta. If this law was passed, Canada's Office of Parliamentary estimates that Google and Facebook combined would wind up paying around $242 million US to news publishers every year. Okay, so split between two companies, that would be $242 million per year for Canada alone. How much money does Meta make? Meta reported total revenues for 2021 as $117 billion. That doesn't really seem like it would affect them very much comparatively. Interestingly, this scenario did play out in Australia a couple of years ago. Meta ended up shutting off news access for an estimated 17 million Australian users. Eventually, the two sides came to an agreement, and Campbell Brown, Facebook's head of partnerships at the time, wrote an email to staff saying, "This all landed exactly where we wanted to," end quote. So it seems like they've learned from that situation, and now they're really digging in more to push back against the Canadian government. If you live in Canada and you listen to the show, don't worry, I will continue to keep you updated on this story, and you can check out links to everything I'm discussing in the show notes. That's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and be sure to come back tomorrow for other Instagram news or strategy or TikTok news or something else that you're going to benefit from.
Instagram news got you covered, sometimes even TikTok. Relevant platforms in the metaverse ahead of the wave. Without a break or a pit stop, still waiting for Zuckerberg to give me the big job. Pause. Use trademarks and logos with Insta's permission, of course. If you like the show and gain some good info, maybe leave a review. It's a type of applause. Just drop me a message if you want to collab. If you've got some good content or you want to run ads, at Daniel Hill Media is where I am. TikTok, Facebook and Instagram.